Welcome back, listeners, to Mosaic's Community Life Podcast, Life in Canada, Episode 14. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast today. My name is Jenn Teasdale, and I'm one of the co-owners of Mosaic Home Care Services and Community Resource Center. Our organization focuses on person-centered care, social connection, and community. Our theme today is arts-based engagement. I would like to introduce Jennifer Hicks. I have known Jenn for around 5 years. She has provided NIA fitness programs and in the last year, an online during COVID-19. She is one of the co-founders of the Movement, Minds, and Magic program at Mosaic. Jenn is a NIA creative movement instructor and certified personal trainer who also runs private practice in speech language pathology. Currently, she is offering virtual and in-person programs through the Alzheimer Society of Toronto, Baycrest at Home, Mosaic, and the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health, also known as CAMH. She is also involved with the Reimagining Dementia, a creative coalition for justice. Welcome, Jenn, to Mosaic's Community Life Podcast.
Thanks, Jane. I'm so thrilled to be here. What an honor.
We're happy to have you as well. And also, we have Robin Gertin as our other guest on our podcast today. Robin is a certified expressive arts therapist with extensive experience supporting groups and individuals being creative through visual art, drama, play, creative writing, music, and movement. She is currently an artist with the Alzheimer Society of Toronto, the Batov Method, and works alongside Jenn Hicks for the Movement, Minds, and Magic program at Mosaic Home Care. She is the co-creator of The Good Conversations and a member of Reimagining Dementia, a creative coalition for justice. Welcome, Robin, to our podcast today. It is a real honor to have you both on the line today.
Oh, thanks, Jane. We're both really happy to be here. It's a thrill.
Thank you. And let us start with the program you both developed for Mosaic Home Care, Movement, Minds, and Magic, that has been running in person since April 2023. Jenn, can we start with you and why you thought this would be a good program to collaborate with Mosaic on?
Absolutely. Well, just to give you a bit of background, Robin and I met through our roles as artists, facilitators at the Batov Method about 7 or so years ago, maybe even more. And we came together in ways that were really spontaneous and creative in terms of some of the programming that we offered at the Batov Academy back before the pandemic. And we really, through that program, began to embrace the values of relational caring. So relational caring is about elevating the relationship, the interpersonal experience. And through the Batov Academy, we used the arts as a way to stimulate that relational interaction. And so when I began working with Mosaic to teach NIA through the classes, the regular weekly classes and special events, I began to learn that your organization is that highly values person-centered care, and also that you are inclusive and welcoming. And these are values that overlap with Robin and in our working relationship. These are values that overlap with Robin and I's in terms of our working relationship.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. And just to go back with the Batov, I think that's when I had connected with you because we were actually in the same building at CNIB. And so we did a lot of things with the Batov Center. And one thing that I liked about that was that they didn't do a medical assessment of the individual coming in. They looked at their interests and likes and creating new moments for that person. Maybe they didn't like art before. Maybe they didn't like dance or creative movement or NIA. And then perhaps, with that education and, the different programs that the Batov ran, people were interested in that. So yeah, a wonderful program, that program.
Definitely. So Yeah, Robin and I wanted to bring Movement, Minds, and Magic, which is our signature program, to Mosaic, in that we thought that it would be a beautiful space and ideology for us to share this with your community.
Thank you. And Jenn, why do you think these programs or events are important to offer in our communities?
Well, I really think the approach of helping people feel seen and valued for their strengths, for what they bring to the situation, is a really important way, especially through the pandemic, and even now that our lives have changed so much, to help people feel connected, like they belong, to feel like they are part of a community, and to, combat what we know is an increasing problem, which is loneliness.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually one of the top 3 concerns of older adults, and a lot of research has been done on that as well. So thanks, Jenn, for that. And Robin, can you go into more detail and describe the program to our listeners and to those who would benefit from attending this program, and some examples of the themes that you have discussed in the program?
Yeah, for sure. I'll take a step back and take us back to when Jenn and I were working again at the Beethoven program. We started to develop a real rapport that people were responding to. How Jenn and I in real time were getting to know each other and being in relationship to each other, and sharing some of our stories and our vulnerabilities. I think people really responded to that. And so we started to be cast together as 2 artists in programming together with a lot of success. And then when COVID started, we turned to an online forum, and that's when the magic really started for Jenn and I to develop a business where we could offer some of the things that we enjoyed: respectful, stimulating, artful conversation, connection, and ways to enter into creativity that weren't really technique focused, so that it was more democratic and accessible to everybody and be rewarding in turn. At the beginning of the pandemic, when in-person programming was halted, Jenn and I developed an online project, our first project together, as I always say that Jenn is my work wife, so that this was our first marriage project. It was a series of 10 memory-friendly, dementia-friendly videos that can be watched at the convenience of the user. That's set as a warm talk show where Jenn and I role model a conversation around a theme that everyone can relate to, like love and family, very similar to our ideas with the Movement, Minds, and Magic program. And that 10 video series lives on our website and is available if anyone's interested in finding out more information on www.thegoodconversations.ca. What a participant in our program can expect is starting off with a warm welcome, as we mentioned, moving to awesome music in a way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. Then we literally break bread. We have coffee, tea, and snacks. And this is a well thought out part of our program, because we find that having a little snack and a drink fosters thoughtful conversation. And Jenn and I are supporting everybody and getting to know each other in a safe and welcoming way. And then we move into an artful activity that has a theme that everybody can relate to. And what I mean by that is a theme that is dependent just on us being human and not on our individual abilities. And that way we are accessible to any age and stage and ability, which we're really proud of. But we don't condescend or dumb down our program. So I think people pick up on that it's authentic, it's artful, It's based on our professional expertise and also our curiosity about people. So throughout the morning, people can expect to be welcomed and feel connected with acceptance in a non-critical space, non-judgmental. And that translates to a really rewarding, warm morning. What we're finding is that people sort of unfold throughout the morning, become more and more comfortable in sharing, feel valued, and we fold in learning again from our art background, from our people in facilitating so many programs in the Toronto area. So there's learning and stimulation, and it's become very special to us.
It is a special program. You know, I have attended it and I feel just so relaxed in the program. And both you and Jenn have very calming voices, and you are definitely person-centered and sort of bring out, you know, the person's interests and hobbies and have discussions. And the artwork is amazing. So that is decorating our resource center, which is amazing. And even our caregivers who had come in for a person-centered care orientation were looking at the artwork and looking at the words on the wall when you first started the program. So, and it's just, you know, interesting the different people that are coming and are interested in the program. So the whole flow through from the Nia Fitness that Jenn provides with her great music and movement and getting people moving to breaking bread, as you said, Rob, and having discussions. And it's also created a community within a community.
Yeah.
And again, people are so happy to be part of the Mosaic members and coming to this wonderful program. Jenn and Robin, what kind of experiences or feedback have you noticed with this group of attendees from Mosaic Home Care?
Can I take this, Robin?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Well, I have observed people coming, unfolding, I think, as the way Robin said, throughout the program, and just really basking in the opportunity to express themselves
Yeah.
ways, and the opportunity to be seen, so that people are really feeling valued and acknowledged
Yes.
in this program. And in fact, we did receive, we get emails about you know, participants' experience, but one that comes to mind is from a participant who recently came to us, and she had been searching for something in the community to occupy her time and to engage her. And she you know, spent a lot of time looking around through various agencies, through the city of Toronto, through different programs, and was not satisfied in that she couldn't find a program that catered to a variety of skill levels. So she was really grateful to come to us. And what she pointed out as well was that she came away having learned something new. So what came out of the experience was a creative opportunity, but also a new perspective, which is a very healthy thing for us all to explore in terms of our agility and thinking and so on as we age. So it's really heartwarming to see the responses.
It is. And she, you know, she does want to come back to our program. And I think, you know, a lot of individuals, they may be anxious going to programs. Or there might be too many people in the program. So, you know, this is what is unique about Mosaic. You know, we don't have like huge amount of people coming, but with our programs, we manage that. So, you know, they are spending time with the facilitators, and you are able to do some unique things with them, you know, engagement and new experiences and new moments that are created within the program.
Absolutely.
And then, go ahead, Jenn. That's fine. What did you have to say?
And then I just wanted to highlight, one of the things that Robin and I have always been very mindful of is the setting within which we provide our programs. And it feels like a gift having found Mosaic, and you're situated in a church that happens to be physically accessible, happens to be located in a very convenient
That's right.
yeah, with lots of parking, with lots of access to the TTC as well. And another thing that really struck me and is just so beautiful is how there's signage throughout the church. There's benches out in front of the church that clearly state that your two organizations are LGBTQIA plus
Yes.
friendly, and
Correct.
that's very important value to Robin and I, and clearly to you too. So it's a beautiful alignment.
Thank you for that. Yes, and Armor Heights Presbyterian Church, which is on Wilson, just in between Young and Avenue Road, as Jenn mentioned, is a perfect spot. And that was a collaboration that started actually before COVID. And we just love that space. We do wonderful events together. We're able to host larger events and community events, and we collaborate on things. So really, a lot of these spiritual places are turning into community hubs where they're actually in the community, where people can walk to. They feel safe coming and discussing things. So thank you for that, Jenn. Dates, I just want to remind the listeners, dates for our next movement, Minds of Magic, are held in September 2023. Will be featured online shortly at mosaichomecare.com. And then our newsletter being released the last week of August, hopefully. This program will begin on September the 18th, October the 21st, and November the 20th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This is organized by Mosaic Home Care and held at Armor Heights Presbyterian Church, 105 Wilson Avenue in North York. Cost for the program is quite minimal, $10 for each class, which is quite amazing when you're getting exercise and social programming and art and music and poetry. For those on a fixed income, a discount will be provided. Again, to find out more about this program, visit our website at www.mosaichomecare.com or call 416-322-7002 and speak to Lauren.
And we can't wait to welcome you and get to know you. Please join us.
I know, it's a fantastic program. So back to you, Jenn. Can you discuss the other work that you do in the community and the programs you offer? How would people connect with you to find out?
Well, I offer a number of different programs. The best way to be in touch with me personally is to take a look at my website. So it's www.jennhicks.ca or 416-573-4911. But I wanted to also highlight some of the work that Robin and I have done together through the Alzheimer's Society of Toronto. And we have together run so far virtual programs called Minds in Motion. And that is a 90-minute program that is sort of split into 45 minutes of physical activity. So we do a little bit of strength training, a little bit of cardiovascular training, balance training, and it's followed by a mindful discussion facilitated by Robin.
Yeah, with cognitive skills, artful activities, again, with the idea that people want to learn throughout their lives and regardless of their ability. And it's an opportunity for people living with dementia and their care partners to participate in something stimulating together that's respectful, fun, and playful. And I think that there's sort of a thorough line between all of the programs that Jenn and I are offering. In addition, one thing that connects this program and the activities and the attitude and the space that we're trying to curate for people is regardless of ability. So when we do the movement portion, Jenn is demonstrating a seated opportunity and I'm demonstrating standing, and the same is true back to our Movement Minds and Magic program. That section and all the other conversation and activity is given with many different choices.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And again, to connect to the Minds in Motion, that's through the Alzheimer Society of Toronto. So you can definitely go on their website and find that out as well. And Robin, can you provide the things that you do and the types of programs you provide around the GTA?
Yeah, absolutely. I have spent almost 20 years offering programming to a wide variety of ages and stages. But right now, I really am concentrating on adults, young seniors of all ages, people who are young in their hearts and their souls and their creativity, and people living with dementia. So Jenn's mentioned our program and our partnership with the Alzheimer Society of Toronto. And then as an artist at the Beethoven Method, which is an arts-based day program offering facilitated art classes in a variety of different mediums: improv, poetry, music making, creative movement, visual arts of all sorts. Again, really centering on people's ability and unique stories rather than their disability or their disease. So really another really joyful, respectful space. And I'm also the coordinator for the Care Partner Support Group that's run free of charge virtually through the Beethoven Method. If by chance you are interested in finding out more information about the Beethoven Method, either their arts-based programming or the free Care Partner program, I can tell you that the website is www.thebeethovenmethod.com. So you can find out a little more about that as well. And then our new partnership, Jane.
No, that's it. Go ahead, finish up.
And then, of course, our exciting new partnership with Mosaic with the Movement, Minds, and Magic program.
Yeah, thank you for that. Sorry to interrupt. I would say the Beethoven Method, I've also seen the Beethoven Method in action. We have had some of our individuals that come to Mosaic for our social programs have then connected to the Beethoven Method. And the families are so happy and relieved. You know, again, it's arts-based, a community feel, poetry, music, visuals, you know, lots of interesting things. And the facilitators are amazing, I must say that. You both have been involved in Reimagining Dementia. I've also seen the video. I've been on their website. Amazing group of individuals from all over coming together with that music and the Creative Coalition for Justice. And can you both describe your input and involvement and continued work for this cause and area? So maybe we'll start with you, Robin.
Sure. You know, at the time of COVID, I can say that way more gracefully. At the start of the pandemic, when organizations in person were shutting down, Reimagining Dementia, Creative Coalition of Justice, came across our desks, our awareness, and Jenn and I went to a Zoom meeting where we saw for the first time other people internationally who felt like we did, that a dementia space could be a learning space, a joyful space, a creative space. And we were sort of brought into this community of almost 800 members in 31 countries. That consisted of people living with dementia, of course, their care partners, researchers, academics, artists, people in the healthcare profession, policymakers, and more, who were convinced that we could do better, that we could change the tragedy narrative and diminish the stigma and the fear from lack of information, and bring living with dementia a more meaningful and deeper purpose. So the power of creativity in transforming the culture of dementia, the first wave, or the first campaign that was conceived by the coalition, was the idea to create an original song and a video. And so what happened over 6 months during COVID, again, all virtual, again, across 31 countries, is that we collaborated in concept, in composition, in performance, and in creating art and spoken word for, I think it's about an 8-minute extraordinary, really one of a kind video. And the fact that we were collaborating with so many different elements or individuals involved in dementia care and were primarily led by people living with dementia was an extraordinary initiative. So much so that this collaboration is now being studied at conferences. The most recent one will be at the Canadian Association of Gerontology conference that's happening in Toronto in October. And we believe that this shouldn't be the exception, that this should become the norm, that people living with dementia can not just teach us and we can learn from them, but they can advocate and empower others. So I just love that message. I think there's so many takeaways to other people with challenges and various abilities as well. It's very inspiring.
Yes, definitely that video was well put together. The music and the people in the video and music and dancing. It was also intergenerational. So there were children on that video as well. And it was just lovely the way it was put together and executed. I've also had the Reimagining Dementia group on the line. So actually Jenn connected me with them. So you can find that video on our blog through Mosaic. So you can take a look at that. And Jenn, back to you. I think there's another project you're working on, which is called Taking It to the Streets through RD. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So Reimagining Dementia is inviting members of the community to take this message of building a world where we're not afraid of dementia, where it's not a shame-filled or stigma-filled cone of silence, but where we value and respect and honor the personhood of people living with dementia. So they're inviting people to hold a public-facing event in their community and to find ways to involve people and communities who generally aren't included in the conversation about dementia, to start to break down some of those, the tragedy narrative that tends to surround this diagnosis. So people around the world are planning community events during the week of September 18th to 24th. And here in Toronto, we're actually planning for World Alzheimer's Day, which is on Thursday, September the 21st. We're planning an art exhibition and a film screening. We will be showcasing art by a number of different visual artists who are people that are living with dementia. And we will be screening 3 films at the event, one being the one that Robin just mentioned called Let's Reimagine. The second is called Chasing Monsters, Parkinson's and the Power of Art. And the third is called Dancer, Not Dementia. And that's coming out of the National Ballet School.
That's amazing. How would somebody find out about that? Is there a website? Where would it be held? Do they contact you? How would that work, Jenn?
Right. Well, we have an Eventbrite link, which I'm not sure if it can be included in the video that I can that we can post. And if that doesn't work, then people can feel free to contact me directly, and you can do that by email at jenniferhicks@rogers.com.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you for that. Well, we were coming to the end of our show, and I would like to thank you both for spending time with me and our listeners on Mosaic's Community Life podcast, Life in Canada. At this time, I usually ask our guests if you would like to leave a takeaway message for our listeners. And if we could start with you, Robin.
Oh my goodness. First of all, I want to thank you, Jane, for not just having us on this podcast, but for really welcoming us into the Mosaic community. It's such a pleasure to be aligned with an organization that values respect and people versus ability, that wants to create innovative, warm, wonderful programs together. And it's great to, have roots with you and strengthen our connection. So really, on behalf of Jenn and I, thank you very much. And I think that Jenn will echo this, that there are so many different ways to learn and be creative. And we encourage people to try our Movement, Minds, and Magic program and some of the other programs we've referenced, because we all are creative and we all have a unique story to tell. And it's wonderful to connect.
Yeah. And thank you, Robin. I mean, the same goes back to you both, having you come in and do the programs, your expertise. I think we work well because, we do believe in person-centered care. We do believe in personhood. We do believe in community. And, that organizations, if it be not-for-profit, if it be businesses and private firms, can work together. And I think this is the way that it needs to start moving. We all, can have different expertise that we can bring to the table and work together as one in the community. And finally, let's hear from Jenn Hicks on her message for our listeners.
Well, I think this is just something that I have learned, and as I age, it just becomes louder and louder and louder. That don't take yourself so seriously. It's just, there's so much creative opportunity in spontaneity, in living in the moment, and exploring yourself through these types of opportunities.
I'd just like to thank you, Jenn Hicks and Robin, for coming online today. Until our next Mosaic Life in Canada podcast, this is Jane Teasdale signing off. Until next time.